I'd probably say it's like a training program for people that want to get into the military, or at least have some interest in that aspect of life.
Well, Reserve Officer Training Cadre is a group of individuals who are learning how to be military officers.
Think that, oh, that's another thing that you have to do because it's a way that you're paying for college.
Really hard training.
Military hard work, push-ups.
Military classes and yeah, that's all I would think of.
Other people walking around in their uniforms, that'd be one big thing.
Nope, no idea.
Like some type of gym class. Really hard gym class.
Running, walking, climbing up walls, being stealthy.
I know they take leadership classes, a lot of leadership skills that they learn, as well as like military strategies.
ROTC takes PT, they take a lot of nutrition, they take a lot of physical classes. I do believe that they take classes similar to a leadership minor or major would take.
Leadership stuff, I would assume.
I haven't heard of any ROTC classes. I don't know what they're under.
The ROTC culture is very much alive here. I'm just saying that right now.
No more so than like how football is a subculture. I actually feel that the people who are in ROTC are more ingrained with the rest of the student body than the swimmers are.
Oh, for sure, definitely. They have a subculture because they're very tight-knit, as well as who they are based on like who they call each other. They call each other by their last names a lot of times.
The military in general is its own subculture, and these are young people who are training to be in that type of subculture, so I would hope so.
I feel like there's a specific group of people that are kind of called for that and that seek that out.
I think they kind of wander around campus more often than we think. I think we assume they're really secluded. They're not.
Mission. Bravo 3 conducts squad search and attack in the vicinity of Perry Farms from 11:10 on by working with Costa Villa National Police in order to fix and destroy remaining LNC positions and uncover the location of the Los Niños cartel headquarters before their leadership can escape. I say again, Bravo 3 conducts squad search and attack in the vicinity of Perry Farms from 11:10 by working with Costa Villa National Police in order to fix and destroy remaining LNC positions and uncover the location of the LNC headquarters before their leadership can escape.
In ROTC, we're looking for three main things. The three are scholar, athlete, leaders. So we're looking for a well-rounded student, somebody that can perform academically, have had leadership opportunities, because once you graduate and become an officer, you're going to be thrown in as a leader right away.
Bravo team in the rear.
And then athletics. The Army is very physically demanding, so if you're involved with athletics going through high school or even in college, it makes that transition in the Army that much easier.
Initiate lane.
Oh, okay. No, that's them. They're going. That's not my group.
I know Cadet Mary Cowan. She is a nursing student in the program. She originally was part of the Indiana National Guard. She joined up after high school. I realized that she wanted to be an Army nurse and serve full-time in the Army, so we actually just got her a scholarship that will cover the remaining of her nursing program here, and then she'll go out in the Army as a full-time Army nurse.
I am Cadet Cowan, and I am a staff sergeant, so I'm a squad leader right now.
You don't have any radio communication to talk to higher.
That's up there.
You fell down there.
I actually joined the military when I was 18 and a junior in high school. I joined the National Guard first. And they wanted it to be my own decision, and it was, but they were supportive of me when I made it. So then when I decided I wanted to continue with it, they were still supportive, and they're really proud of me. So when I first showed up at Olivet, I was definitely most nervous about switching roles, because in the National Guard, I've always been an enlisted member. So I was a private and then a specialist. So switching from a following type of role to more leadership, the enlisted and officer sides are really different. So that was a different perspective to switch into.
Who's in charge here? Are you in charge? Okay. Have you guys seen any enemies in the area?
No, what do you know about?
Nothing. I haven't seen anyone. He's been screaming for hours.
So this semester our field training exercise was kind of new. We stayed at Olivet instead of going to a military training installation. And with the changes with ROTC, we really wanted the uncontracted cadets to feel welcome. So our main purpose was recruiting and retention.
What happened to you, sir?
Fell.
You fell? Now you just have a lot of pain in your
Not bleeding anywhere else.
If you're pulling security, you're going to be laying
not
down
bleeding
and
anywhere
else.
That was our main goal, and we did so by going around doing different team building exercises and learning about the 21st soldier competencies, which is what's going to shape the future leaders of the Army.
16, this is Bravo 3,
All right.
9 line, follow, over.
How long have you been here?
6 months.
Do you have any allergies?
He's allergic to broken legs.
Bravo 16, this is Bravo 3, 9 line to follow, over.
ROTC can be fun, and we can do different things and work together as a team.
Just setting up an OP. Fell.
This is the one thing that we have, so it's very important that cadets are there.
Where are you taking him? We're taking him to an open area so we can see.
I was definitely first interested in ROTC based off my desire to become an Army nurse one day. So I knew that was like a step I'd need to take in order to get where I wanted to go.
Yeah, that's what
So when I was looking for colleges, I really was looking for a school that was a Christian college with an ROTC program and a nursing program. And Olivet is one of the only ones in the nation. And I also have a brother who went here, so it was just a cool family aspect.
Are you with us? Okay, now who's going to be the leader here?
Here at Olivet, our ROTC program is an opportunity to develop as leaders in order to become better Army officers. We do this by making sure we can achieve physical excellence through exercise, and then lab opportunities to lead the younger cadets through leadership opportunities. So yeah, it's just about learning how to work well with others.
He's been hurt for 6 months?
No one came.
That's not infected? He doesn't have gangrene? 6 months, that's really impressive. Forcing fluids, I hope.
Yeah.
Bravo 16, it's Station 2 where it's supposed to be on the map, over.
Station 2 is where it's supposed to be on.
Adam Timmer, he is a second generation Timmer coming through the program. His sister just commissioned through our program last year. Adam received a national ROTC scholarship out of high school.
We're doing one. High speed.
That's Armstrong.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a poncho. We could use that. We could just use it.
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to be in the military in some facet, and my cousin went through ROTC at another college and told me that if that's what I wanted to do, that ROTC is the best route.
Make a lot of noise.
Working with Timmer, or with Adam, we refer to them by last names, has been pretty good. He's been my executive officer for a portion of this year, which means he's the representative of the MS three-year junior class that I communicate with, and I use him to communicate and lead the rest of his class. So he did a great job. a lot of times we had to meet up and figure out plans and stuff, and he always really put a lot of effort into it, and I appreciated that. I think he's going to be very successful, and next year as a senior, we'll see what kind of position he gets.
No, it's for the litter. All right, so what we're going to do, since his leg is hurt,
it's definitely really demanding. In past years, field training exercises and stuff we had to do for ROTC would take up. Sometimes we have to get leniency to get out of classes, and so missing classes was really tough, and having to make up that work is really strenuous sometimes.
So we're involved in both ROTC and the campus soccer team, which takes up a lot of time. He really has to be able to manage what he does throughout the day so he can still keep those academics up, but then he's also been a part of helping us recruit and bring in other students that are curious about what ROTC is, and hey, can I do athletics and ROTC at the same time? So what's neat is most of our cadets, they're involved in lots of different things other than just coming and doing the ROTC thing. We encourage that.
So between being a business administration major with about 4 different minors, being a part of ROTC and the soccer team is really busy, and you really have to learn how to juggle time and talk to your coaches or talk to ROTC people. Your coaches and ROTC instructors generally have the information ahead of time, so being proactive and finding out that information and writing it down on a calendar is really the only thing that you have to do to survive. ROTC takes priority because I'm already scholarshiped and they pay for my schooling, and I've already expressed that with coach, and I went into playing soccer for Olivet with that understood. So Thursdays I am all ROTCs and I can't go to practice. Other than that, I'm generally loose to go to soccer practice.
This way. Kind of more towards Mom. You're pretty close.
There's definitely a difference in the culture. So for instance, my nickname in ROTC is Mom. And if someone needs something or needs help with something, they know that they can come and ask me. So there's kind of that position of like an RA, but we're tighter than RAs because we're still really good friends. So they know, like a freshman would know that if they really needed something, that they could call me or ask me, and I'd be there to help them. Being challenged in a way where I grew immensely would probably come on the leadership aspect. Prior to coming to ROTC, I was really strong in my personal and individual tactics, military tactics and knowledge, but coming to ROTC has taught me that you're to train to your weakest link, that being in charge of a platoon of people, so 40 to 60 people, you're responsible for all of them, and that not everyone can train to the highest person's level of standard, so you have to work with what you have and grow and develop it to be better. A success story is I'm still here, and that it's now my MS3 year, so we're starting to take leadership positions and be in charge of things. Nothing much has changed with what I've expected to get out of ROTC. I'm still looking to go in to the ROTC program and get out of it a slot as an Army officer. I guess what's changed is my mindset, if anything, of what I want from the military and how I'm going to get it, and making sure that you're proactive in everything that you do.
When I look at my friends here at Olivet, I have my ROTC friends, my nursing friends, and my friends who are in ROTC and nursing. That's kind of it. I don't have anyone outside of that except one of my roommates, and that's about it.
I've heard of it.
It's
like $30 a jar.
This semester I have 22 credit hours. My social life consists of studying with my friends who are in ROTC and nursing. I have to realize that I have other obligations that some nursing students don't have, and I just have to prioritize it just as if I were a student athlete. Nursing always comes first, and I advocate for myself on that, but ROTC is still important. They're paying for my school, and ultimately one day I'm going to be in the Army, so I still need to understand the things. In order to go to a scholarship board, you have to have a 2.5, but realistically, if you want active duty, you need to be keeping it. For nursing, this past year, the minimum people that got it had a 3.4. I'm striving for an unachievable perfection because you don't know where the active duty line cutoff is going to be. So you want the highest GPA that you can possibly get. And so that stress is just always on you, I could do better. I need to get a higher test score.
Ranger Challenge is the varsity sport for ROTC. It is actually technically recognized as a varsity sport. But what Ranger Challenge is it's a team of 9 people on the varsity side that works together. They pretty much train together for the entire couple months leading up to the competition. And they go in and compete against all the other schools in the area, whether that be big universities or little private schools like us.
The Ranger Challenge competition benefits you because it adds OML points, which is your order of merit list, so how you get assessed at the end of your junior year to see what branch and service component that you actually get.
That competition goes over different technical tasks like building bridges out of ropes, learning how to do medical scenarios, or just pure strength stuff, like they have to pull a Humvee in a race. Or ruck around with their backpacks on for the whole weekend. So it really is supposed to cover the full gamut of the challenging between mental and physical.
I thought people would understand what I was talking about, but did people know how to clear rooms or set up 360 security around a building?
No.
No. So what happened? Chaos. Mass chaos, okay?
My freshman year, we focused a lot on military tactics, but ROTC as a whole is switching more into leadership dimensions and breaking down op words and different things. Because while tactics is a great way to assess leadership, there's also other ways to do it. And if you're not going into a combat arms officer branch, then it's not going to be major. The Army was finding that the program wasn't making the kinds of officers that they necessarily wanted, that we were great at all these tactics, but okay, what about making presentations and talking in front of large groups of people? So they want to focus on those types of things, because tactics can always be learned. So we still go into the Army doctrines and policies, and we dig apart the textbooks that they've put out, because there's a lot of literature.
I didn't really have any idea what ROTC was going to be like when I started. I'd say it's a lot more formal than I expected. You stand at attention and you have at ease, and we form up, which is, you stand in your platoon in lines and someone talks to you, and you're expected to be in a certain posture when addressing someone at a higher rank. But then, in a way, it's also very relaxed still. There's no yelling involved, really. People very rarely get mad at you. They're college students too, basically, so they're in the same boat. They're also very relaxed and helpful, and they really care about getting to know the cadets and helping them in every way possible.
The training events we go to and the stuff we do with ROTC, it's long and it's annoying and it sucks a lot, so it's really what you make of it. So if you go into it with an attitude of, this really sucks, and have a terrible attitude, then the people around you are going to have a terrible attitude, and your weekend's going to suck. But if you go into an attitude with, I'm just here to have fun, and I'm going to be lighthearted so that everyone else has fun with it, one, it makes your missions easier to do, and you can have more fun while you're doing it.
My favorite part of being in ROTC has been the friendships that I've made. They're like any other friendship I've had my entire life. I've just gotten really close with a lot of individuals, and we've gotten to go through a lot together and just be there for each other.
You have a special relationship with the class below you and the class above you. And the one below you is usually a bit of a mentoring relationship. So one of my jobs as company commander is to help mentor them. The MS3s, the juniors especially when they're in positions of leadership. Just being there for them is definitely one of my roles. We all get breakfast together. I'll sit with them. We'll talk, and everyone knows at any time they need to talk or discuss issues with me. I always have open doors.
Throughout the course of my Army career, it really depends. I don't know if I want to go active duty or National Guard or reserves yet, but if I went active duty, I think I'd want to stay until at least I made captain, so at least 5 years, maybe 8. Get a good feel for it, because the experience you get at active duty nursing is unlike anything you can do in the civilian world. When I leave Olivet's ROTC program, I hope that I've learned enough to become a good Army nurse and help others, and do so with a Christian heart. So I hope that I've just grown enough as an individual and enough through my nursing skills and leadership opportunities. Did you get my 9 line? Yeah, I'm only a little bit over halfway, but I can say it's totally worth it. All the crazy, the early mornings, the no sleep, the missing out on some things that your peers are doing, like the things I've gained through doing ROTC and nursing, like, I don't know, it's totally changed my life, changed my perspective on things, and made me a more grateful person, and like, it's worth it. The late nights, it's all worth it. So I'm excited, looking forward.
You have to know you want it. I've seen so many people join this program and then not really want it and drop off. You have to be sure, like in your heart and in your mind, that you actually want to join the military. If you are, then you're golden. You have the support system in ROTC, you have the structure, it's a great program. Olivet has one of the top programs in the country for a reason. Like we are one of the best consistently, no matter where we go, no matter what competitions we enter in, we get very high marks. This is a great program to join. Be sure you want to join and then dive in.